Hey guys, this is Monica, and this is my Foundations of Business Communication oral presentation for the spring GEB 3213, and my student number is S3532350. The point that I'm going to be driving home throughout this presentation is that as business communicators, we are striving to create an effective two-way channel of communication, and the key word in that sentence is two-way. Throughout this presentation, I'm going to be focusing on the four main foundations that I find within business communication, and that is internal versus external communication, business technology and its effects on business communication, cultural diversity, and body language. Internal versus external communication is the difference between speaking to your coworker and speaking to your main clientele. Internal communication is everything from emails, IMs, memos, meetings, any training you complete, newsletters, phone calls, voicemails you leave within your company, all information that you have with your peers, your bosses, people that you work with. External communication is the exact opposite. It's all speaking with your customers, advertising, phone calls, voicemails, text messages, even to your customers. And the information that you're relaying to your customers needs to be as professional as possible, as grammatically correct as possible, and as formal, really, as your company would prefer it to be. So internal communication is not so much the stress as far as formality and keeping everything super business casual. External communication is. You want to make sure that your customers know that you are carrying that amount of respect for them to speak to them in a certain way, and that also can bleed into internal communication when you're speaking to the big boss. But in general, when you're speaking to your customers, you want to keep it as kosher as possible. Business technology is everything that you use on a daily basis within your business realm to communicate, and that is going to be telephone, text messages, your computers, all your emails, faxes, copy machines that you use at work are even considered in this realm, answering machines, leaving voicemails, company websites that may allow you to talk within your company while you're at work. We are super blessed to live in a day and age that technology is at our fingertips, and we are able to use that at our free will. Cultural diversity is something that this course kind of opened my eyes to. In my experience, 99.9% of my customers have been middle-aged and Caucasian, so I'm super excited to dive into this research-wise and experience-wise. When you're dealing with someone that is culturally diverse than you, you want to make sure that you have a basic cultural knowledge of their culture and what is deemed and not deemed appropriate. You want to avoid using gestures when communicating to avoid maybe using one that's not appropriate within their culture. And you also want to avoid touching really any customer or holding any extended eye contact or lack thereof. Our book states that 5 to 10 seconds of eye contact is deemed appropriate, so anything less or anything more might come off the wrong way, and we're trying to avoid that. Body language and nonverbal communication really is the golden rule of it's not what you're saying, but how you're saying it, what you look like when you say it, what you sound like when you say it, and what your tone or voice inflection is when you say it. This is very important when you're on the phone with a customer or when you're in person with a customer. What you're saying is important, but what you look like when you're saying it is even more important. So are you holding eye contact? Do you have a face on that you don't necessarily mean to? Are you using a closed body structure or an open body structure? It's all about what you're trying to convey, and if you're not doing with your body what you need to be to convey that message, you need to adjust that about yourself. Thank you guys so much.